Welcome to day 59 of our low-level design course. Today we will be focusing on feedback and iteration, one of the most crucial aspects of system design. Feedback is essential for refining your ideas, spotting potential flaws, and ultimately improving the quality of your design. Throughout today's session, I will walk you through how to effectively handle feedback, categorize it, and iterate on your design based on the insights you receive. Let's dive into how feedback loops make your design stronger and more aligned with real-world needs. Let's first take a look at what we will be learning today. By the end of this session, you will have a solid understanding of how feedback plays a key role in design improvement. We will break down the process of categorizing feedback, allowing you to identify critical issues that must be addressed immediately versus suggestions that can be worked on later. You will also learn how to craft an iteration plan, a roadmap for making actionable changes based on the feedback you receive. In addition, you will cover some of the common pitfalls when receiving feedback, such as taking criticism personally or missing out on important insights. We will also simulate how feedback is received and processed in a professional design review cycle, so you will be ready for real world scenarios. Now let's take a moment to discuss why feedback matters. Imagine your first draft of a design. It's never perfect, right? No one gets it 100% right on the first try. Feedback provides a critical lens through which your design can be examined and improved. Iteration allows us to continuously refine our systems, just like Uber or Amazon, who iterate on their designs constantly before launching them to the public. Feedback allows for improvements in quality, helping you spot flaws early and adjust the design before they become more expensive or time consuming to fix. Importantly, feedback is objective. It's not about criticizing you as a designer, it's about refining the design and ensuring it meets the requirements and expectations of users and stakeholders. When feedback comes your way, it's vital that you know how to process it effectively. You will want to categorize the feedback into three distinct types: critical, enhancement, and optional. Critical feedback addresses major issues in that design, things that need immediate attention because they directly impact functionality, performance, or the user experience. For example, a design flaw that could result in a security vulnerability is something you need to fix right away. Enhancement feedback and focuses on suggestions that make the design more efficient, maintainable, or scalable. These are valuable but not urgent. Optional feedback might be stylist suggestions or things that are nice to have but don't directly impact the design's core goals. Once you have categorized the feedback, the next step is to create an action plan. Identify which feedback requires immediate action and which can be deferred for later iterations. This helps you prioritize your efforts effectively. Here's an example of how feedback can be categorized into critical, enhancement, and optional categories. Let's say you receive feedback like class relationships unclear. This would be critical because unclear relationships could result in poor code maintainability and confusion. You would want to redo UML diagrams and clarify class responsibilities. On the other hand, if someone suggests consider renaming a method for clarity, that's enhancement. It's useful feedback but not critical. You have the time, you can refactor the code. Lastly, try using a different naming convention. It's optional. It's more about stylistic preferences. You can choose to follow it if it makes the design better, but it's not a priority. As you can see, categorizing feedback ensures that you focus on the most critical aspects first and don't get overwhelmed by less urgent suggestions. Receiving feedback, especially from peers, is a vital skill. When you present your design, you will want to stay open and receptive to what others say. Peer feedback helps you identify gaps you might have missed and provides fresh perspectives on your design. While presenting, it's essential that you listen actively and avoid getting defensive. Feedback isn't personal, it's meant to improve the design. Take notes on all the feedback, and if something isn't clear, ask for clarification. Don't be afraid to dig deeper into certain points. Sometimes the initial feedback may be not fully explain the underlying issue. At the same time, remember that as a reviewer, it's important to be specific and constructive. Point out what's working and what's not, and suggest actionable solutions. Once you have received feedback, it's time to work on iteration planning. This process involves taking the feedback, analyzing it, and deciding how to improve your design. The goal is to create a structured iteration plan that addresses the most critical issues first and then tackles the enhancement and optional suggestions. Your iteration plan should be actionable and prioritized. You need to decide what will have the most significant impact on the overall design and what can be refined over time. Remember, iteration is a process. It's not about perfecting everything in one go, but improving the design over time based on feedback. Now let's look at some real-world examples. I will walk you through a couple of sample projects where feedback was received and the design was iterated. You will see how critique and iteration can transform a design into something more robust and scalable. I will demonstrate how we can apply feedback to improve UML diagrams, refine class relationships, and optimize code structures. This will give you a better idea of how to integrate feedback into your own projects and ensure that you are always striving for improvements. Let's summarize the key points from today's session. Feedback is an essential tool for improving your design. It's not a reflection of your abilities as a designer, but an opportunity to make your design better. Always remember that good design is iterative. It evolves over time through feedback and refinement. Document feedback carefully, prioritize the most critical changes, and create an actionable plan to address each point. And as you continue with your projects, be prepared to iterate and refine your designs based on the feedback you receive. Before we wrap up, let's look at your assignments for day 60. For the next session, you will be applying everything you have learned today. Go ahead and refine your ongoing project based on the feedback you have received. Update your UML diagrams, enhance your documentation, and write a summary page explaining how you implemented the feedback. This assignment will give you hands-on experience in iterating on a design and help you internalize the feedback process. I'm looking forward to seeing how you improve your designs, so don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. Thank you for your attention.